How's everyone doing today? This is the Hornets Daily podcast. My name is Tavon, and we are back here to do everything in your power, in my power, to pretty much give you any Hornets news whatsoever, to pretty much get you through the day off for today, as the Hornets are traveling to Milwaukee to face against the Milwaukee Bucks. Following after that game, they will be going against the Chicago Bulls. In the meantime, so again, ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored by Fan Art. As you can see that little logo right up there. And we're going to basically talk about everything about the Queen City and about the Hornets in this time. So let's get started. PJ Hall on the rise into the journey of the Hornets roster. The beat writer for the Charlotte Hornets Observer, Roderick Boone, and a very good beat writer for the Hornets in general, one of the lead beat writers, if anything, did an interview with PJ Hall. PJ Hall, as you guys know, just recently signed a two-way contract with the Charlotte Hornets, especially due to the bigs injuries with Mason Plumlee and Moussa Diabate, who's dealing with assortment of injuries as of right now. And Ryan Kalkbrenner has of right now basically dealing with injuries as well. PJ Hall was asked to step up from the G League and is now in this consideration of basically being in the starting lineup for the next game against Milwaukee, considering with Moussa Diabate's current injuries as of right now. So with this interview, obviously with Hall posted 1.9 points per game, 1.3 rebounds before getting caught up in the numbers game when he was with his outing with the Memphis Grizzlies during this time, and now he is on the Charlotte Hornets, was playing on the Greensboro Swarm, and is kind of thriving in a way. So this is what he had to say in the interview. It starts out with Boone basically asking him how it feels to be a Charlotte Hornet in the first place. He said, yeah, it's 100% seems surreal. Hall said to the Charlotte Observer, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. With that in mind, Hall also goes on to say, the day before I was waived from Memphis, we was in Cleveland. I was praying before I went to bed that night, and I was like, hey, I was stressed about the situation. I knew something could happen eventually in terms of not being there anymore. And then I was praying. I was like, hey, whatever you have in store for this, I'm giving it to you, Lord. And that's it. Next day I was waived. And I was like, that was very quick. 3 days later, from the November 20th, Hall G League player rights were acquired by the Greensboro Swarm. He then went on to put on work right away with 13.7 points per game, shooting 60%, 9.3 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and 1.5 blocks in 27 minutes, and his 11 appearances. And that is all it took from that point of view for the Hornets to also look at him. Even after his release from Memphis, his agent had conversation with several teams. Hall chose to return to Greensboro for a fresh start, and from there, he logged in minutes for his first 3 games, including inking his first two-way contract with the Hornets on Christmas Eve. Called up thanks to the Hornets' heavy of injuries to the front line. Like as I said, Mason Plumlee out with his surgery with a groin injury problem. Moussa Diabate getting hurt a little bit. And then Ryan Kalkbrenner pretty much is gone with a right ankle sprain. I do apologize. Well, right elbow sprain. So he logged in some minutes and he started playing in, and his journey ever since. He said, yeah, he's just been a smart player, and this in regards to Con Knipple as well. Basically saying about PJ Hall, yeah, he's just been a smart player, competes at a high level, gets the playbook. He's quick to pick up everything. He's such a high energy guy, and that's how to play, and that's how you get on the floor and you succeed all around from that standpoint. He also said, it's awesome. This is PJ Hall. It's really funny that you see stuff like that, quote unquote, bigger players not signing a two-way contract. I saw people quoting Meek Mill's song, I used to pray like times like this. I was like, all right, now, it's really cool, man. Obviously, a lot of people from Clemson lives in Charlotte, so it's cool to just have familiar faces. I grew up also as a Panthers fan, a Bobcats fan, growing up watching Al Jefferson, then Kemba Walker, and now he's on the Hornets as a staff player. So, I mean, it's been awesome and a great experience to be able to come back and have that full circle moment. And then from there, pretty much Hall says from his game action and basically proving that he's going from the NBA or proving that he belongs in the NBA. And so he says, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think you kind of put it in perspective whenever you go home. Like, home is home, and you talk to my boys, and they're just like, yeah, dude, what it's like seeing LeBron James and stuff. And I'm like, I really don't think of it as much. But 3 years ago, I would have been like, holy crap, it's LeBron James. So you get desensitized towards it. But when you take a step back and look at it, and it's like, yeah, I'm at the pinnacle of my basketball career. Enjoy it while you're here. Keep working and make it last long as possible from that standpoint. So, again, not somebody that is taking the moment lightly. PJ Hall has been on a groove as of lately. He's been playing well. He's deserving the minutes, and he is getting that spotlight as of right now. PJ Hall onto this Hornets roster. Hopefully, he stays on it from this standpoint. But again, Moussa Diabate being hurt, Ryan Coltburn being hurt. I think the major injury, obviously, is Mason Plumlee being out for several weeks, including pretty much not coming back until February. So in that meantime, he is going to continue getting a little bit of minutes, a little bit here and there minutes, but also possibly will make some starts, will make some very key bench moments like he's already have. And from that point on, we'll see PJ Hall potentially cave away into the roster, possibly into the rotational minutes for this Hornets team. So we'll see. As I said, PJ Hall getting that shine from the Charlotte Observer. Is glad to point it out there. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about PJ Hall rise to the Hornets roster, and let me know what you think about his long-term outlook with this Hornets team. As we move on to the next topic, we got LaMelo Ball getting injury advice from Steph Curry. So again, this was kind of obvious from the standpoint that Steph Curry, Steph the brother, used to play for the Charlotte Hornets. He played Charlotte Hornets last year. Came on, helped out with the team. So it doesn't surprise me that LaMelo reached out to Steph to contact Steph about ankle injuries or about how to deal with ankle injuries. Because again, Steph Curry dealt with ankle injuries in the young portion of his career, or the younger parts of his career. He was out for pretty much at one point. It was a major injury or long-term injury where he was out for the whole season due to ankle injuries, and he had to basically get ankle braces at one point and wear protective shoes to help him out. So this is what was said during the conversation in regards to LaMelo Ball reaching out to Steph Curry in terms of the persistent ankle injuries from this point of view. This was the report from the Sports Rush, but it was also interviewed as well. So from what it was saying from Curry, the interview question, or Curry said out to the media post game with the question of how LaMelo Ball has reached out to him in regards to any advice or anything that was on the floor. And Curry responded with this as well. So he said, I know he's seen some stuff that I talked about. Actually, Q, who's not there anymore, which is part of the training staff as well, he said, but was a big part of the training staff in the past couple of years, was with us in the Team USA. I think there's been a little bit of conversation on it, and Steph Curry was texting me last year trying to give him some more advice or some more guidance in returns of his ankle injury. So Steph Curry, brother, played the entire 2024-2025 season with the Hornets, so it makes sense that he reached out at the time. He said in the interview as well, or in the media post game, at the end of the day, it's about getting stronger and trying to get the whole chain working, building up that resiliency. It happens over time, but you got to be specific on what you want to do. That's what Curry expressed from that standpoint. He also mentioned that Curry has a long history of ankle injuries, all culminated in the 2011-2012 when he underwent 2 surgeries that put his career in doubt. And there was a lot of doubt at one point where even though he's one, if not a good shooter in this NBA, in that current format during that time, Curry just could not stay on the floor. He played only, and out of the past 4 seasons, only played 31 games during that point of time. So again, him coming back and him basically proving the naysayers wrong, looking more improved, did not get injured as consistently like he did before, and now putting in the work and getting these Golden State Warriors some championships, especially 4 in the past decade, it has been pretty remarkable to say the least. And obviously with LaMelo Ball having to wear possible chance of wearing a heavy-duty ankle brace to help him out in this situation is nothing short but spectacular. And hopefully LaMelo Ball continues to basically get that ankle brace on, play his game, and not get injured from that standpoint. So far in Ball's career, he had to deal with chronic ankle injuries, and his averages has dipped drastically this year. But hopefully he can continue. Hopefully he can continue to play, and we don't have to deal with any more injuries coming up very soon for LaMelo Ball. It was a good thing that he got some advice from Steph Curry, and hopefully we could see LaMelo Ball on the floor a little bit more consistently and not deal with those ankle injuries or nagging injuries whatsoever. We're going to go on to our next topic. We got injury updates heading into Milwaukee. So now, ladies and gentlemen, again, since we have a game tomorrow, we got the injury report. So we're going to talk about that injury report right now. So Moussa Diabate, right wrist sprain that he suffered against the Golden State Warriors on one of the rebounds. And it was a very particular video. I don't know if you guys saw it in the comments below. Not in the comments, but you can tell me in the comments below if you did. It was at one point where Moussa was working out his right shoulder or right wrist, and Draymond looked at his wrist and was like, interesting. And you guys know Draymond's career, or pretty much stature of pretty much injuring or basically causing harm to other players. So I thought that was a little bit cynical but funny in a way, but obviously Draymond didn't do anything, so no harm, no foul. But kind of funny to his personality in terms of how he basically goes towards players. But Moussa, obviously we're wishing him a good recovery from that standpoint. He is questionable for tomorrow against the Milwaukee Bucks. We do have some good news though. Miles Bridges, right ankle sprain, is probable and will more than likely play against Milwaukee. So we're getting some help with Miles Bridges coming back into the lineup. That would be great, considering that he has been averaging 19.8 points per game and pretty much shooting at a very solid rate in terms of 2-point field goal percentage or overall field goal percentage. As of right now, for the 3-point percentage, he hasn't been really clicking like that, but his averages has gone up since the past 5 games, so something to look towards to. As of right now, Ryan Kalkbrenner is right now left elbow sprain and remains out and will stay out for the meantime. How the injury report goes for this team and then also for the Milwaukee Bucks. As of right now, the only person from the main lineup for the Milwaukee Bucks is Taurean Prince, who's still out with his neck surgery. Other than the two-way players who is currently on G League assignment, Alex Antetokounmpo, Pete Nance, and Mark Sears. For the Hornets, obviously for their injuries, and especially with the long-term injuries, Mason Plumlee out with a right groin surgery. Grant Williams still out with the right knee. He has not yet returned to the Charlotte Hornets roster. He has been practicing, but it's still non-contact practice. This will be a first game of a back-to-back for the Hornets as they played the Chicago Bulls on Saturday. So after this game, going to Chicago to play the Chicago Bulls. It's going to be a first game of a back-to-back for this Hornets squad as they come along for this one. So again, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section, are you excited for Miles Bridges coming back into the lineup, into the fold, and playing for this team? And let me know what you think about a possible PJ Hall starting in this game, since Moussa is questionable and Ryan right now with the left elbow sprain is potentially out, or is going to be out for this game. So PJ Hall might be stepping in, or could be T-John playing some small ball center against this Hornets team. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Next up, and the last topic of today's show, is a crazy idea from the Toronto Raptors. Now, again, this is not an actual trade proposal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to let you know now. This is not a trade proposal. This is something from, it looks like from Eric Smith from Swarm and Sting from their website. They cover everything Charlotte Hornets. This is on the fan side website for the Charlotte Hornets, specifically for the Charlotte Hornets articles and videos and everything like that. So again, I'm just using this article as an example, as an idea. As we go, Eric Smith basically puts out that the Hornets are undeniably the most entertaining team as of right now in the NBA. And I could say that, I could contest that a lot of people, a lot of outsiders, a lot of people looking in, a lot of insiders basically looking in to the Hornets on League Pass, watching their games and seeing how the score is going up to the 100s, 120. And regardless if we're still losing in those games, it's still offense going everywhere. And pretty much the team's getting the ball, everybody's shooting the shots, everybody's hitting their shots, and they've been running the break on a consistent basis. That's not to discredit Hornets of their defense, but their offense has been very spectacular ever since they implemented the Hornets Zoom, or the Zoom offense made by Charles Lee, into this integration with Con Knipple, LaMelo Ball, and Brandon Miller. They've been getting their averages spiked up. Miles Bridges has been playing really good, especially with iso ball, low post area, and the high post area as well. So some truth to that, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Fun doesn't equal winning. This is what he says in the article. The Hornets are still not a good basketball team. They haven't been for most of the LaMelo Ball era, and they've been spiraling towards a 6th straight season without a playoff appearance. Now LaMelo has shown flashes of all-star form in December, and again, he is voted right now 11th in the all-star voting from the last return of the first returns on the all-star as of right now. If you guys have not voted, make sure you do vote for LaMelo Ball for that all-star game. Just want to point it out there for all the fans that's out there. But let's get into the actual trade talk. So with the injury setback and the starting the cycle over and over for the fans, with the trade deadline approaching in February, the noise around Ball's future only grows louder. If the Hornets do decide to explore the market, the Toronto Raptors stand out as an ideal partner, as they wanted him since the offseason. For Charlotte, a deal would mean resetting the timeline, building around fundamental pieces such as Con Knipple and Brandon Miller, while focusing on long-term value. For Toronto is a chance to secure a top-tier point guard with immense upside with their team already. The win-win trade are rare in the NBA today, but in the trade package might seem as close as it gets. And with the trade here is the pronounced trade. So I'm going to just put it out there. I'm going to let you guys see it, and we're going to go from here. So the trade idea is this one. Charlotte Hornets get Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, 2026 first round pick, and a 2027 second round pick. In exchange for Toronto, they get LaMelo Ball and Colin Sexton. Now, let me know what you guys think of this trade, first thing. And this is what the comments was said about this trade from the website. So he said, the Raptors need to upgrade at point guard. Toronto has reportedly checked in on Ball, betting on his high IQ of playmaking that can lead your offense to make a lot of sense. Ball would need a much change of scenery, but while also fitting in well with Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. This is the kind of upgrade that puts Toronto over the top. Colin Sexton would be a good addition, as he provides scoring at the rim and also provides scoring off the bench. On the other side, Hornets receive a substantial package to move on from Ball. Emmanuel Quickley is a competent scorer and a playmaker with relatively strong assist-to-turnover ratio. He makes good decisions with the ball as a defender by disrupting passing lanes, along with above-average wingspan for his height. Quickley can immediately step in at the starting point guard role for the Hornets. Also considering RJ Barrett, who is a versatile wing who does a little bit of everything, another guy that can drop 20 on every given night. Barrett wouldn't be your number one option, but he'll be a high-level complementary piece to contributing at every aspect of the floor for this Hornets team. Couple them with a couple of first-round picks and a second-round picks, and Charlotte gains real long-term flexibility considering that they already have first-round picks as it is. And with that, Jeff Peterson can use those assets to continue building around the young core for over the next few years, or flip them in future trades to acquire another key piece if the time is right. It is rare blockbuster trade to benefit both sides, but Ball's trade value is at one of the lowest points. At some point, the Hornets have to acknowledge that LaMelo Ball era has not translated to playoff success for the organization. Charlotte has also shown that they can win without Ball, but while this may be inevitable push for the rebuild out for a little bit longer, it will leave the franchise better positioned for the future with a cleaner foundation. Personally, for me, looking at this article, looking at this trade does make some sense. RJ Barrett has scored 20 points previously with the New York Knicks, and then pretty much going to the Toronto Raptors after their trade, he would fit in with this Hornets team that is looking for scores at a high amount rate. I do see that Miles Bridges be moved after LaMelo Ball if they do decide to do this trade and basically offset all their talent, or all the talent now, their upcoming talent now, besides from Comp Knipple and Brandon Miller, to basically get another asset to the later future and try to pick up that. Since they already got rid of Colin Sexton, you may as well get rid of Miles Bridges and gut it completely. Has Miles Bridges right now in 27-28 range of his age, and he could basically contribute to a contender from that standpoint. I could see this trade basically going through. Hornets get their first round picks, second round picks. They get RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quigley, who can be a starter right now, currently in this current time. He's only 26. RJ Barrett, I believe, is 24, 25, 26 at this point. So, again, and you get some solid contracts to still trade on for later, or you can basically dump them out. However you want to please, however you want to go for it. Emmanuel Quigley is a starting point guard right now. RJ Barrett is a starting or a capable wing player as of right now and does his job. So it is not a bad trade, to say the least. The Toronto Raptors get LaMelo Ball and Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton's on a one-year deal, so it's basically a one-year rental for the Toronto Raptors. LaMelo Ball is signed for a Supermax deal as of right now, with Scotty Barnes with the Supermax. LaMelo Ball with Supermax. Brandon Miller with a Supermax. You now have three players, your three key players for the franchise on a Supermax deal. Hornets get a bunch of assets where they can get a lot of picks and a good young core to develop right there underneath the Charlotte Hornets. And I can definitely see this potentially being a trade. Now, do I like the trade as of right now in the current stance? We'll have to see how LaMelo Ball plays throughout the month of January. And from that standpoint, we'll see if this Hornets team could continue to not only push with LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple, because they have been playing good when all three of them is on the floor. It's more of the extra pieces that needs to fit in. We still need a big. We still need a stretch four that can play defense. And I think that's the main thing. I think that's the main line. I honestly think with this trade, we don't really get that, but we get the assets enough to basically obtain that. And we'll see from this year's draft if they will do that. But as of right now, that trade makes sense. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of that trade, of that LaMelo Ball trade, and I posted it on the screen. I'll post it one more time. It is right here for the viewing. Emmanuel Quigley, RJ Barrett, a 2026 first round pick, a 2027 second round pick, LaMelo Ball, and Colin Sexton from that standpoint. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for the show for today, and we do appreciate you coming in. We got good major news coming out very soon in terms of fan art and what you guys can basically help us up or help on, and we're going to give you a lot of new details that's coming along the way. This show is also sponsored by Fan Art. Make sure you tune into the YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to any sports. They have every team available. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, you're not even a Hornets fan, you just want to try to get more information and you rooting for another team, you can go to Fan Art right there. They're going to have different shows or different YouTubes that you can go to and basically check out the shows and subscribe to the shows. If you like this show, particularly so, make sure you leave a like in the like section below. Make sure you leave a comment down below about all the topics that we have here as we went along about everything Hornets wise for the Hornets Daily. Make sure you subscribe to the Hornets Daily channel as we have a podcast every day, even through holidays. Yes, I had to do it for Christmas. I had to do it for New Year's. We even here for every single day. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to have a great Happy New Year's. Make sure you get your goals in. Make sure you have your resolutions already saved. Make sure that you keep on rooting for the Hornets, Buzz City, and we're going to be out of here. My name is Tavon. Peace out, everybody.